Welcome back, everybody, to Hyperdimension Neptunia Rebirth 3 Victory Century. I'm joined by my friend David. Say hello to everybody.
Gonna do one make before here. Gotcha is kind of a bit turn off people.
I just freaking hate the concept. Okay, because I remember back in the day of early phone game technology, how much they would charge you for Angry Birds and fucking Candy Crush, because yes, I actually did play that shit back then.
Wasn't Angry Birds free?
Yeah, but then there was things you had to pay for.
I don't remember that.
Like Mighty Eagle was a paid character, for example.
Huh.
And you had to pay for him per use.
I always got him for free whenever I do bad a level.
Well then, what that tells me is that the game took pity on you because you were stuck in a level for too damn long.
Probably, yeah. And Candy Crush Jack, that would I can understand.
Okay, I've been around the block. I've seen what these gacha games do to people. Okay, I saw how Magia Record made $2 billion off PNGs. It's unreal. It's actually unreal. People will spend their money on God knows what. Look, it's one thing, right, to spend $1,000 on a platinum Blue Eyes, okay? At least you're always gonna have the freaking thing. It's another thing to spend money on a digital game that can be shut down. Okay, it's because the difference between like Neptunia. Why am I okay with getting the DLC? Because Neptunia Die Hard is a single player game that I have access to. Okay, I can crack these games if I really feel like it, so I will always have the games. Okay, whatever, I spent the money, but now it's mine. Whereas this gacha shit, what happens when the servers go down, huh? What happens? Not every gacha game is like Mega Man X Dive Offline, where they recompile the game to make it offline supportable. No, most gacha games go the way of the freaking dodo and decide to just stop working.
That is very much true. I won't deny that. Some games do just shut down for reasons.
Yeah, I've been around this section of the internet too long. And I'm just not for it. Hell, I was completely against mobile games as a concept for a long time. So, like, to me, like, if a game is a mobile game, like, I'll just straight up not play it. Now, I'm not against the mobile game industry at all. If you want to play it, go ahead. But back then, I used to despise that shit.
Why?
Because it didn't feel like a real game. Because you gotta realize that if you look back at the cell phones of the era, it's like Super Mario would be too difficult to emulate on some of those old phones.
I can see that.
So it just felt like a rip-off. And I don't support that idea at all. At all.
Alright.
Let's see here. What else can we talk about while we're still in cutscene hell?
God, how long is this cut gonna last?
An eternity.
My God, not gonna stay up for eternity.
You know, remember how you told me you could do a series like Blaze Blue that has longer cutscenes? Does Blaze Blue constantly have cutscenes this long? Like, does it constantly interrupt you, or is it just the opening that's really freaking long?
It was just the opening. Good. Just the opening. After that, the cutscenes are more balanced between cutscenes and gameplay.
Do you see what I mean now when I said Neptunia has some of the longest cutscenes in gaming?
Yes, I do.
And you know what's funny is that when I replay the game, I guarantee you that I'm just gonna be skipping cutscenes. I could probably finish the game in 8 hours.
Probably.
It's
I
like,
can see that happening.
It's like V2. First playthrough took me 40 hours or so. Second playthrough, I did it in under 7 hours because I started skipping cutscenes.
Yeah. Anyways, God, my neck.
What's another thing that you like to talk about? Brexit, David. There's no eggs in Britain. I'm sorry, that's old news.
Yeah, no, we're not doing that.
That's really old, anyways. It wouldn't make sense to our viewers who are under. You know what's funny? I think my demographics is 100% male adults over 25.
Really?
I'm dead serious. That's my demographics on this channel.
Oh,
And honestly, that's a good thing.
okay.
Okay. We've talked about your experience with Neptunia. We've talked about your experience. You know what? No, we already talked about progression. We talked about Mihoyo. We talked about Marvel Rivals. We talked about Dead by Daylight. We talked about Halo. We talked about Yu-Gi-Oh! What have we not talked about in this series?
I don't know, freaking Power Rangers.
Okay, you know what? Go. Talk about all you want about FNAF lore. Go for it.
Oh god. Okay.
Talk your heart out. Go.
What a big game with FNAF. Like, it is freaking insane nowadays. Like, back in the day, FNAF was more simpler. All you had was just 5 dead kids and a mystery of who they were and who killed them. It was just that simple. Imagine saying that how 5 dead kids possessing animatronic was the most simplest thing to ever come out of this series. Because now it's very complicated. Things took interesting turn in FNAF 3 when we find out about what happened to the purple guy. The real killer. After he ran from the suit, he got scared, he hit into one, and then he got spring locked, and as springs just went into his body, and he just sat there dying, twitching as the spirits moved on. Some of them. But we'll get into that. After the place burned down in FNAF 3, we thought he was dead. It turns out he somehow made it out, escaped. And then we got FNAF 4, which is apparently a prequel to everything. And even to this day, FNAF 4 still makes some things confusing. Like, who is the crying kid? Why did we die? Who was our relation? Was that the bite of 87 or not? But it wasn't. That was the bite of 83. Different things. But basically, the FNAF 4 still has questions for things. Especially the main question: what is in the freaking box? Yeah, that's a big thing. FNAF 4. After you beat FNAF, after you beat Custom Night in FNAF 4, you're taken into this dark room with a box that has a lock. You try to pick the lock, it doesn't work, and then you get the word. Perhaps some things are best hidden forever, and that is it. We never know what's in the box. We never see what's in it. It's just there. To this day, it's still a mystery. And then we get set to the location, which is all about apparently play as the older brother from the FNAF 4. We go work, which apparently we go to a sister factory location, which is said to be under our house. We go in there, we work. We eventually find our sister who's in an animatronic, and then we literally get our inside scooped as all the animatronics enter our inside to use our body. As a flesh suit. That's crazy. Neither just the games. How do I even explain the books? Because the books where I think get real crazy. They have a whole bunch of things happening there. You get like haunted metal, haunted animatronics. You have aspects called Agony and Remnant, which you can melt down and extract to other animatronics. You have like weird animatronics, like a freaking long-necked circus baby. It's kind of crazy. And then we get FNAF 6, aka Pizza Simulator. This was apparently meant to. This was what some people consider the end of FNAF. At least how it should have been, because literally, after we get every single animatronic that was ever been made into the pizzeria, it burns down. We literally set the whole place on fire as they all burn and die, because fire is the one weakness for haunted metal, apparently. If you burn it hard enough, it'll lose the property and the spirits will be free. So all the dead spirits are released. As William Afton, playable guy, he gets sent to hell. At least until one of the original 5 he killed takes his spirit and puts him in a personal limbo, where he just gets killed over and over and over again. When somehow somebody also have connections with an anime toy Chica being a yandere. I'm not even kidding, that's a thing.
What the fuck? Wait, really?
Yes, in Ultimate Custom Night, after you get certain scores, you can get cutscenes for different things. You have one where you have Freddy as some kind of warrior who's trying to fight against Foxy. Every time he fails, Foxy makes him do some ridiculous thing. Either babysit a frog, doing laundry, wearing a ridiculous costume, whatever. Freddy is always vying for revenge against Foxy, and Foxy just keeps taunting him. But then you have freaking Toy Chica. It literally starts the same. She's talking about buying her diary, saying she found the perfect boy. She goes into class where she looks at the boy. She comes up with some kind of crazy plan to try to get him to fall for her. Then she says there might be one problem. There might be one thing that could be a problem. Then the next episode, we literally see she has like a piece of that person in her backpack as she moves on to her next target. I'm not even joking, this is an actual thing. Toy Chica Anime High School Yandere. It's fucking nuts.
Why? Fucking
why is it a thing? I don't know why. I don't know why this is a thing. It's just so crazy. It's strange. I don't know. Anyways, people thought this was the end because Ultimate Custom Night, after a while, we didn't seem to get anything except more books. But then we got FNAF VR, Help Wanted. At first, I thought people just thought it was gonna be like the VR version of the first 4 games. No, to make simple, which was fun. But nope. Oh no! There's more lore. Apparently, in this game, you can find hidden tapes. If you collect each tape and see, if you listen to what they say, you start to see something coming closer to you with each one you get. Apparently, in these tapes contain a virus. If you get all the tapes, the virus is complete and apparently switches with your mind. So you're trapped in the game and the virus takes over your body. This would be what we call glitch trap. William Afton is back, but he's now just an AI.
I thought the story happened in the 80s. What the fuck?
Well, actually, I think we're like in the 90s now.
Oh, this is so much better.
This is more like... No. At this point now, we're like in the 2010s. At least I think. I don't know. But we're no longer in the 80s. We moved on from that.
Just gonna let everybody know right now that me personally, while I did play up until Ultimate Custom Night, I've always preferred FNAF for the actual gameplay and not the story. So I kind of say the series peaks with 4, and then I just don't really bother with the new stuff. But keep going, David, because this is very interesting to learn.
Right. And after Ultimate Custom, after Help Wanted, we did actually get a DLC, a Halloween DLC called Vengeance of Dreadbear, I think it was called.
Dreadbear, okay.
Now this was just like a Halloween update where we got a couple more games and such. But we even have more lore. We literally see out in the distance the Metroplex is being built, which would be the place for security breach coming in the future. And then in the end of this DLC, we find a mask. a a homemade bunny mask where if we put it on, we hear a conversation between a woman and another voice. The woman is basically saying she made this mask, she hopes she likes it, but she's having second thoughts. The voice talking to her says, "Stick to the plan. I know you can do this. You are the next one." So in other words, what they imagine is make it a freaking cult. And now this is where we start building up to security breach. Now, security breach was gonna be a huge thing. For one, this was back the time when Scott kind of left the franchise for a bit, and the reins was given to Steelwool Productions. But security breach was gonna be completely different. You're no longer just in the office anymore. You're now roaming around an actual freaking pizzeria mall place, just trying to escape it. As you now control Glamrock Freddy. No, you still control the boy in him. By the way, this boy Gregory, he apparently got into the complex, and he's just lost and missing. Freddy does not have his database at all. So now him and Gregory are working together to explore to get through the place because as far as the Metroplex is actually dangerous. You have crazy. You have a daycare center guide who apparently goes crazy at night. Well, like a killer moon side. So parents don't leave your kids out at night. You have you have a robot gator who does all kinds of violence. You have other things going on. You have a giant musical spider that comes after you. And of course, you're also being chased by this one security guard girl who looks just fine. She's trying to save the kid, but as it turns out, she also has a personality side of a killer. Vanny. Basically, she literally has a female bunny mask too. This is the person we were hearing last in Help Wanted. So, yeah, we have the warrior too, because she might try to kill us. Oh, but it gets even stranger. As if it already isn't. Now, Security Breach has different endings. Yes, I am not. Yes, this is a game has a whole bunch of different endings that go crazy things.
Wait, is this the game that has the comic panels as endings?
Yes.
Oh, yes, I've seen these.
Yeah, you have one ending where Gregory gets away, but he's all alone, and now he's just homeless on the street. You have one where him and Freddy are able to get away. You have one where him, the girl, and Freddy's head are together now. And then you have this next one, which takes a crazy route. So basically, after doing some things and tasks, you go down the floor and you find out that the Metroplex is actually built over the FNAF Pizza Simulator location. Straight up, it's just built completely over it. And there's a giant tunnel that leads deep underground. What happens if you go down there by yourself without Freddy? You immediately get killed by a giant blob of animatronics. It just straight up just finds and kills you. If you were to take Freddy, you have to take Freddy with you to avoid it, because otherwise it'll get you. And this blob thing is something we'll get back to. And after you go down, you find a strange location and find this strange capsule or whatever. And you explore it a few bit more, and you'll find out, surprise, surprise, Springtrap is back. He's now called Burntrap.
Oh my god.
And he's trying, and yes, he is actually back. He was in that capsule somehow. So now, what happens next is that he tried to take over Freddy, and it basically becomes classic FNAF. As Freddy started to get taken over, we as the kid had to go around the office and survive long enough to escape, as Braintrap and other animatronics try to get us. how this route ends, it ends with the Metroplex getting set on fire and us escaping as Braintrap is taken by the blob and just vanishes.